Here we will talk about the connection between language, power, and ideology, and we'll try to figure out how this connection affects the overall linguistic picture of a society, in this case, Pakistan. Language planning, in fact, is a systematic manipulation of a language for some state or society-driven purpose. If we have a look at Cooper's statement, he says that it includes deliberate efforts to influence people's behavior with respect to the acquisition, structure, and functional codes of their languages. I mean, some external authority actually influences upon people regarding their choices and use of a language because they want to plan a certain language or languages in the ways they like. Pakistan also has many language planning societies. There is a society for the national language, Urdu. We call it National Language Authority. Then we have the Sindhi Language Authority. Then we have Pashto Academy, Balochi Academy, and Barohi Academy. We also have Punjabi Adbi Academy. We got so many academies, but the real question again remains that how far these societies are functional and working for the promotion of these languages. We'll be very sorry to find realities there because they are not optimistic. What do actually language planners do? They focus on various areas, especially those related to status planning, acquisition planning, and corpus planning. In status planning, they try to figure out how importance is given to a certain language by the state and the powerful people of that society. In acquisition planning, these people look into the teaching and use of language. They also monitor the language shift, and this shift, according to Fishman, is usually from less powerful to more powerful language. That means if a language assumes power in a society, it would naturally get more speakers in the coming years. Then corpus planning, and this includes efforts to change and improve the language per se, whose status is the object of policy decisions. This can be done by linguists, but only after the policymakers have made certain decisions about the language. The situation in Pakistan, as I said earlier, is not very optimistic in relation to language planning. We could see that the people belonging to linguistic and ethnic minorities, they are against the policies of the state of promoting English and Urdu for various official and academic purposes. Even the speakers of some of the majority languages, for example Punjabi and Pashto, they are also not happy with the state's policies of the patronage of English and Urdu. In this regard, a renowned Pakistani scholar, Rahman, is of the view that whenever it comes to language planning in Pakistan, states always cuts a sorry figure, and the people consider their own language as a marker of their identity, their own local cultural identity, as compared to the national or international identity. So language is quite a sensitive issue in Pakistan. The state's ideology so far has been to promote English for international purposes and for intellectual and academic purposes, and promote Urdu for religious and ideological reasons. Urdu has always been portrayed as the language of the religion, which might be against the historical facts, but this is what has been portrayed and promoted in the country. Urdu has been preached as the language of the religion Islam, and most of religious teachings are taught in our various education institutions in the same language. And we could see that there have been various movements by the people speaking other languages. We had a movement by the Bengali-speaking people in 70s. We have a movement by Pashto and Sindhi-speaking people as well. They may not be that strong as we had the one by the Bengali-speaking people. In Pakistan, English is considered as the carrier of Western and liberal values, and therefore this should be promoted for official and intellectual discourse. English these days is also being embraced by the Islamic revivalists because they believe that this language could be used to promote religion in other parts of the world. This is also being accepted by the underprivileged sections of the country because they think that this language might bring in some power and good fortune for them. In Pakistan, local languages are associated with only ethnic identities, and on a national level, it's the Urdu language which has been which has gained all the privilege and has been the priority of the rulers. And we can sum up this debate by saying that within Pakistan, language has been clearly associated with the power and ideology. And government has been quite ignorant of many sensitive and tricky ethnic issues which rose because of such debates. In future, we could expect that government would be more vigilant to see these problems more seriously so that the linguistic aspects of Pakistani society could be reformulated in an optimistic way.